Welcome to Hamburg and to another street photography video. I'm right now in a park area in the middle of town, enjoying all the blooming plants and flowers, and I'm on my way to the Reeperbahn, which is the red light district in the town, and see what kind of opportunities I can find there. Along the way today I'll talk about the 50mm focal length for street photography and share my experiences and tips that you can use in your own work, in your own street photography. So stick around and I hope you enjoy. The 50mm focal length you've probably come across quite a couple of times, especially if you are new to photography or watch a couple of photography related videos on what to get as a beginning photographer. 50mm is usually what's suggested alongside with maybe a 35mm lens or a standard zoom, and for good reason. The 50mm is one of the first choices because it's just so versatile, is probably the most used adjective to describe the focal length, and I would totally agree. However, 50mm is also what is called standard focal length because it shows a standard field of view, which is very similar to what we can see with our naked eye. And therefore, images could be considered boring because it's just something that you see every day. That means you have to put a little bit of work into the images to make them more impactful. Also, these kinds of lenses usually come fairly cheap in the grand scheme of photography lenses, so it's a good bargain for most beginner photographers. However, I made the mistake when I first started out around about 7 years ago that I bought an APS-C camera, so with an APS-C sized sensor, and bought a 50mm lens for it, thinking this will be great as a first little lens. And then, of course, finding out very quickly that 50mm is actually referring to the full frame equivalent and not actually the focal length itself. So 50mm on an APS-C sized sensor gave me around about an 80, 85 or something like that millimeter field of view, full frame equivalent, and therefore everything was very tight. It's very zoomed in focal length, and understandably enough, I was struggling making some compelling images. So keep that in mind when you look for lenses for systems with anything else than a full frame sensor. Another good argument for having a 50mm prime is that they're fairly light for the large aperture that they can give you. So you'll easily find apertures at 1.8 or 1.4 on lenses that aren't really that big and heavy. So I've made it to the Reeperbahn, and I'm gonna take a walk around and see what I can find. So far, there's plenty of people around, so it's a good selection of subjects here. And as long as the sun is out, I really like to work with bright illuminated colors. So let's see what we can find. So I just found this window here with this Coca-Cola sign right in the middle. And I really like the reds and also the tiles that produce a frame around the window. Let's talk about the 50mm focal length for street photography. So what I personally like is that it does actually give me some distance to my subject. I'm very conscious about people not liking having cameras pointed into their faces, especially here in Germany or in Hamburg. And therefore, I like that I can actually get some distance between myself and my subject. I know that that mostly will result in less impactful shots, but therefore I do try to give my images other aspects that are nice to look at, like bright colors or, in general, quite contrasty scenes. The day is coming to an end. The weather has taken a turn for the worse, but I'm quite happy. Got a couple of shots in the bag, and yeah, if you use the 50mm focal length regularly, let me know down in the comments why you love it so much. I'm going to finish the video here. Thank you for watching and have a good week.